Hi there, Mike here. I'm just going to do a quick video on my Rctimer gimbal which I received today. I just got all the bits out, just set them out here for you to have a look at, and then what we'll do is we'll start to assemble them so that we can actually see where things go, and we'll take it from there. Right, I think the first thing to do is get these cables and get them soldered onto the motors, which I've done already. I'm quite capable of doing that. I've just curled them up so that when they're on they're a little bit flexible. Just wrap them around a screwdriver or something just to give them a little bit of curl. So they're soldered on like that. Okay, so I just move them out of the way for the time being. And then what we're going to do, we're going to build the frame up. Very straightforward. You can see just there and there, I think you can see. Just there's a, I think it's a 1.3 or 1.2 milli grub screw. Well, Allen key headed grub screw. They need to face to the front when you build this frame. So we have one just there, one at that side, like so. That needs to go to the top. There's no recesses in these, but as you can see it's got a little bit of a bevel going on there, so I put that to the top. So what I want to do then is have the grub screws pointing outwards towards the front. They just need fastening on there. So I'll just put this frame together. You're capable of putting screws in, I'm sure. But we just line them holes up, we just pop the screws in, like so. And they're all so that's your little frame built up, like that. Once it looks square and everything, you can just go ahead and give them a quick nip. Don't forget, these screws require Loctiting. Most of the thing will fall to pieces. So don't forget, I'll just put it together just to show you. I'll take it to bits and do the Loctiting later. So that looks pretty square now. So that's that assembled, so we can put that to one side. The next section has three pieces, which is like this. This you can see here, it's got a recess in it. I'll show you what that's for in a minute. But first, I think the first job now would probably be better putting the motor into this. So if we get hold of the motor, as you can see there's a recess, and the motor holes are staggered, so they're different lengths apart. So it will only go two ways. It'll either go that way or that way. I found that it's going to be better putting it together that way. So then again, we're going to pop some screws in here. These are Allen key screws. I think these are 2mm. So we pop some 2mm screws in there. Like so. So just make sure that that's nice and free, it's not fouling with anything. So that's one side. It just looks better with the cable coming down the arm, I think. And obviously when it's on, it's going to be like that. And like that. So it looks the part that way. So in this end, which is the other side, we have two bearings. There's one in there. I would have took it back out, but it's that tight that I'm going to leave it in. So we've got two bearings. This one folds in like that. The other one will very tight. Obviously it'll only, well, it'll fit either way, but you're best fitting it with a recess outwards so the screw fits in it. So then on here, this is the shaft that goes through there. We've got a little grub screw, a little circlip, and obviously that circlip stops it going right through. So we're going to put that on and have the circlip to the countersunk side. So that's going to look like that. So when these are together, obviously that's going to go on there, like so. That one's going to go on there, and that's going to allow it to turn. The motor's going to turn it. Okay. So we need to get that screwed on. When you screw this together, don't over tighten. Well, don't tighten up things to start with. Don't, because we're going to need to be able to position the framing for the GoPro. So now we need a screwdriver, and we need to put it in a hole. So over there, like so. And just be careful now, obviously. A little bit of movement like that. So if we get the frame again, obviously that's going to sit like that. This is going to be the top. This is where the button's going to be on the GoPro. We've got the grub screws at the front. So what we're going to do now is just pop that, because we've allowed it to move. That'll pop in there nicely. Make sure it moves around nice and easy. And then pop the back one in, like so. And then make sure that's through far enough. And then if you just get your 1.3 Allen key, just nip that up. Same with this one, just nip this one up. Like so. And then just check it, see if it turns alright. Should spin nice and easy like that. Yeah, that feels good. So now we can nip these sides up. Tighten these sides up. Not over tighten them because you've got Loctite on there, so just tighten them up like so. You might have to readjust these just to see how it feels. It feels alright, but I will just undo them. Like so, just take any tension off that I might have caused by tightening them up. And just make sure it feels spin motor right. Yeah, so that feels good. So put that down. I'm going to tighten those up. Just give them a little nip. Same there. So that's that part. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to assemble the back section. Now, if we leave that to one side, then we're going to assemble this piece. Now, we can put the motor on here first, which is probably the best thing to do. Again, it will go one way or the other. It'll go that way or that way. My feeling is that it's better going up to protect that, going up that way. So that's like that. Again, we're going to put 4 screws in here, a little bit of Loctite on. Like so. Make sure that spins alright, it's not fouling on anything, so that's fine. Now this section here, this is the bit where the part that's going to be fastened to the suspension part, suspended part, that actually goes up under your quad or whatever you're fitting it to. So we just want to get 4 screws in, 3 screws in there, like so. take 3 screws through there. These are the black Allen keyed ones. Okay. Yep. Right, so now we need to fit this little part here. Now in here already I've installed the little grub screw, the 1.3mm, and that's inside there. This hole was a little bit tight for the bearing shaft. It still is a little bit tight, but just be careful as you put it on. If you hold the motor like so and just coax it on. Obviously you could drill it out a little bit more, but I do want it to be secure. I don't want it to come off because there's only that's obviously holding everything on when you build it up, so we don't want that to fall off. I can see I've actually marked it a little bit with pliers, but I don't think it's hurting anything. Make sure when you put it through that the motor shaft doesn't protrude through there, because that's going to meet up with another piece we're going to connect it to. No, it's not a bad construction at all really. So we're going to tighten that up and just nip that up. So that's ready to go now. So all we need to do now is put, you can see that, we're going to put us 4, I'm not going to put it that way, we're going to put us 4 screws in there and just leave them loose so it can actually, that's for adjustment, obviously balancing out when the GoPro's inside. Okay, so we'll get that on there and then we'll have another look. Like so. And you can see it can move around. That's actually how it will sit. Like that. You can obviously slide it around into whatever position you like. So that's the main frame constructed. Doesn't take very long at all really. Obviously the wires will run up out of the way. Well, as best you can get them out of the way, they'll go up there out of the way. So that's that part. There is obviously other parts. Just here we've got this little section where I've just put these standoffs on. That takes 4 screws. So I'm going to stick that on there, well, screw it on, and then when that part's on there, then we get the, well, I've got this particular controller. It's an Rctimer Brushless Gimbal controller, as it says on the back. So that'll go on there, that'll drop onto there. This is if you want to set it up like this. If you don't, then you don't have to. Obviously we've got the power in, and the for the 2 brushless motors feed off here. So I want to get that plonked on, and then we'll have a look at it. This section, this piece actually fits on the top of there then. Obviously we fit some more standoffs, they will go on top of there, and then that will go on to there, and you can see that will space it out enough. Then we've got those little floppy rubber things, anti-vibration dampers or whatever we want to call them. So that's it. I'll shove this together now, and then we'll look at wiring the controller up and have a look, see if it works. Okay. Alright, so I've got this section on here fitted on. You might find you have to put some longer screws into here, because where it goes into the aluminium, it's actually drilled through into the bottom, and on them sections, them two sections there, I don't know if you can see, it comes through and the screws that come with it aren't long enough, so they just round off. So find yourself some longer ones to go all the way through there, I would advise. Obviously plenty of Loctite on. So that goes onto there, like that. And then, as I said before, we're going to put the gimbal controller onto here, like so. Going to put the little standoffs on the top, obviously Loctite them on, so they'll just fall straight off. You could use metal standoffs. I might use metal standoffs purely for the fact that everything's going to be hanging on the bottom of this piece of plastic, or these 4 bits of plastic, which I don't know whether it's a good thing to have your camera and your gimbal dangling on end of 4 pieces of plastic, but for the time being I'm going to assemble it like this. So that's going to go like that. Obviously, as I said before, shove them 8 rubbers into place. That pops on there then. As you can see, it takes 4 nuts around there, and then they have to be popped in. It's a bit fiddly, but you get there eventually. So then you put your 4 nuts onto here. I'm just going to quickly put these on just to show you what I mean. So obviously they're on there like that. You can see then. I'm going to carry on and just put the whole thing together now, and then what I'll do, I'll run the rear one goes to the rear on the controller, and you can just slip that onto there. The front one, as we can call it, I suppose, because it's at the front, a bit self-explanatory really. I'll go to the front and we'll drop that one onto there. I'm going to get a little battery, just give it a try so you can see what happens. And right, just another thing to mention, obviously the sensor needs to be fitted onto the frame where the GoPro is going to go. Now, I made a mistake of fitting this sensor on the top that way. If you fit it that way, it doesn't work. It either wants to be fitted on the top. You've got Y and X axis actually. I don't know if you can see it, but probably can't. But on the centre, it's got that. So it doesn't want to be on the top. Well, it does want to, if you want to fit it on the top, but you've got to fit it upside down, so you would have to make some kind of framework for it or something like that. I don't know. I've not tried it on the top apart from the wrong way. Put it on the top the wrong way around, it goes into some kind of weird and wonderful dance and just shakes around, so it doesn't work. So what I found is that if you turn it over that, I did actually stick it just to one side, I think. So you stick it to one side like that. Obviously be careful because it's on the bottom now, whether you put a bit of foam around it or something. If you turn it back around then, and just to try it, that's going to pop into there straightforward, like so. Something else to mention as well. If you look down here, obviously, I don't know whether you can see on the camera, but down there at this side is positive, there's a big plus, that side is negative. If you put them on the wrong way around, you'll blow it apart, so be very, very careful when you connect them up. Obviously if you're going to do it like I'm doing it, just treble check that the one on this side nearest to me is going to be the positive, because if you put it, as I say, put it on the wrong way, and you might as well throw it in the bin because it'll be no good. Okay, so I will move the camera so we can see what happens when I initialise it, and then we'll take it from there. Right, what you need to do first is get your GoPro, and that needs to be installed into the little bracket or little housing or whatever you want to call it, and then you need to move it around until you balance it. Now balancing with this, means that wherever you put it, it stays where it is, because obviously you've got the sort of friction on your motor that's sort of pulling it. If it goes that way and falls over, it's no good. If it goes this way and falls over, it's no good. So we're trying to balance it the best we can. If you get, I've found, if you get the frame, if you get this part of the frame, you can see down there, I'm showing you, the back section, if you move it all the way to this end, and then you can sort of play about with the GoPro until it's roughly in the right place. Don't forget it needs fastening in. It's not fastened in at the minute, but I've got some velcro under it, so just holding it in position. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect the battery, and hopefully you'll be able to see what it does. You don't have to worry about where it is. You can sort of leave it wherever really. And what I'm going to try to do is connect the battery. Don't forget about positive must be towards you when you connect the battery. If you put it on the wrong way, you'll blow it. It needs to be perfectly still. You'll see a blue light. There we go. If we watch now, it goes through a little strange motion, and then it centres itself. Difficult for me to hold it there, but and then it's initialised and ready to go. So it's simple as that really. You can upgrade the software and things, and obviously this is the first time, well it's probably the second time that I've had it to this stage, but I just thought I'd show you my build, what I've done. Obviously any ideas, any suggestions, you know, let me know. So there you have it. As I say, if you put the sensor from there to the top, it will have to be sort of electronics facing the top of that plate, because if you put it on upside down and plug the battery in, it just goes daft. So there you have it. That's my build. I just need to get it all together now, and all, well, we'll take it apart again, make sure everything's right, put some Loctite on all the bolts, secure everything, and then work out how I'm actually going to fasten it onto my quad, or whatever I fit it on. It seems to be alright. It's probably out a little bit. It's probably because it's not, but it feels alright, looks nice, stays still. I'll have to run a video once I get it installed and see how good it is. Okay, so that's that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye bye.